Good morning. Officially 10 minutes past 11. Welcome to the midday show with me, Ify, right here on Lagos Talks 91.3. It's time for your favorite show, The People's Perspective, where we bring to you the top stories that are trending around the world, particularly here in Nigeria. Political stories, I should emphasize, and we dissect it from your perspective. In the studio with me, my unequivocal co-host, Seun and Kuti.
Thanks for having me again, sharing your space today. Let's do this. Is the TPP? Yeah, you know we.
Thanks for coming through. I think I would have to, amplify your mic a little bit because I can't really hear you, But, yeah. Can you speak?
How about now?
Keep speaking.
Let me keep
mic
speaking.
check 1 2 1 2.
In fact, it's good that you give me this chance to start the show off, because I have something to say. I posted our clip from our last TPP on my page, and a lot of people, just because of that 1 minute clip, where's the word I'm looking for?
What clip was that?
We were doing this show last week. Forgotten the show we were discussing. I shared one of our discussions.
Here?
Yes, here in the studio. Yeah.
So what now happened?
So they were like, "Oh, if he doesn't know this girl doesn't know what she," people are just judging you basically.
Oh really? Why?
Based on 1 minute video.
Oh, what was the video about? I didn't even see that.
Exactly, it's good.
Please, I would like to know. No.
It's on my page.
This?
It's on my page. So I now yab them. I yab all of them.
Yeah.
Because first of all, they didn't even know that without you, this show is not happening because you're the one doing all the work in the studio.
I'm here trying to even also do this mic as well, so I don't even know what's going on. Oh, we're going to use this 2 mics. I would amplify both of them. We can have the show today. Okay, yes, please. I'm actually very curious. And where was I when all this was happening?
Let me turn this on. Busy enjoying life as
usual. Please. Can you specify exactly what was said in that clip? Because I know that this show is a 1 hour show. From what I remember, it's a 1 hour show, and that was a 1 minute clip.
Let me task my brain. I remember
what were we talking about? The women, no?
No. It was before that. We were talking about. I was making a comparison about a contradiction. I really can't remember now, so it just escaped my mind.
I'm so curious to know.
Yeah. Anyway.
Because it'd be nice, to address these things. You know how sometimes you hear certain things maybe on social media and then you get on, the live shows to actually address them, because I'm actually very curious to know now so that we could address exactly what they were talking about. You know what? I'll probably go to your page to go check and go see for exactly.
If I do that, I will end my live. After the show, I'll show you.
You show me? Okay, perfect. Okay, I'll be patient. But welcome to yet another episode of The People's Perspective. Thank you so much to everyone who has been a part of this so far. And as always, The People's Perspective is brought to you by Africa's #1 homeware store, Adam and Eve.
For your feng shui, you know what I say. My favorite store in town, as I always say. And people cannot tell me not to have my opinion.
Yeah.
If that store allowed some of my habits in their store, I'm telling you, I'll probably be hanging out in the store.
Some of your habits. I want to know what these habits are.
Don't worry, if you like to know, man. You like to know. Are you
I'm actually very inquisitive, and I believe that's the reason why I'm doing the job that I'm doing. Because growing up, I was a very inquisitive girl. I'd always ask questions because I always wanted to understand why. I should go to my room. Why? Why? Wear this, don't wear that. Why?
It's why I know. That's her favorite.
Oh, she likes to say no as well.
No is the name. After you tell her the why,
and then she just says no. Anyways, guys, welcome to today's edition. We have a few stories that we're going to be sharing. We're going to start off, of course, with, and by the way, it is still the International Women's Week. All throughout March is the International Women's Month. And on Tuesday, we celebrated the International Women's Day. And we did see that worldwide, this was celebrated in different parts of the world where there were, groups of women championing certain gender inclusive inclusive initiatives. It's not just here in Nigeria that was, happening. And when I say that, I'm talking about the gender inclusive bills that were rejected by the lawmakers. And of course, we know that the women went out there to protest, particularly on March the 8th. They went out, they protested. And thankfully, what we did here was the reps rescinding the decision and reconsidering specific bills. Now, we know that there were 5 that were presented and were rejected. However, 3 are being rescinded and being reconsidered. I'm talking about the citizenship bill, talking about the bill giving the women the rights to confer citizenship to their foreign husbands, and then the affirmative action, the bill proposing an amendment to Section 223 of the Constitution to provide 35% affirmative action to ensure women occupy at least 35% in political party administration, and then the indigenship bill, which is the bill that seeks to amend the Constitution to allow a woman to become an indigene of her husband's state after at least 5 years of marriage. So these specifically are the bills that they rescinded. Although, of course, women still want those 5 bills to be reconsidered. The women are coming together saying, you know what, this is a starting point. Well, there are women that are saying, yeah, so this is a starting point, but we're still not going to hold back or pull back on ensuring that the other bills are either rescinded or reconsidered. So, Seun, what are your thoughts about this? On the 8th of March, the women protested. The lawmakers decided to rescind those 3 bills. And, of course, in a couple of weeks now, they're going to be hearing this out again. They're going to be seating to focus on these 3 bills again in line with gender inclusivity in Nigeria.
As I said last week, I think affirmative action in Nigeria doesn't make sense to me, especially when it's for women. Because women are actually the majority in Nigeria. So affirmative action is an idea that we got from America, right?
Okay.
But it's where there is marginalized minority, and the majority is saying this. Okay, since we've marginalized you for so long, even if you score the same, even if you are just as competent as somebody in the majority, we will pick you over the person in the majority because they've had more opportunities over time, right? But Nigeria, women in Nigeria, although marginalized, are not a minority. So I feel by this bill, they're actually relinquishing their true political power. They're actually relinquishing their true political power to say,
no, you're live. I'm just.
Oh yeah, this is internet. They've started just as soon as I started talking.
Carry on.
But anyway, it is for me kind of difficult for us as Nigerians to see this opportunity being wasted by women, because I think women, if they actually organize politically, they can be more than 35% of any political, in their own political party, they can be 100%. So why go to fight for 35%? And even if they don't want to be a political force in that aspect, just by being a pressure group, women can decide how politics is run in this country. Women can decide how businesses are run. Women can decide anything in this country. Women organize to demand what is rightfully theirs. Acquiescing to 35% is really, really diminishing what I feel is their true potential in Nigerian politics.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I do agree with that, but like I did also mention last week that there are several methods and mechanisms that we are able to achieve the change that we want. One being, like you did mention, women organizing. I believe that there are other methods like ensuring that they are also giving the opportunity, to have a say in the lawmaking process in Nigeria. And that's the reason why they were seeking the quota in the National Assembly. And we know that based on, for instance, the CEDAW law, if you do recall, which Nigeria assented to, that is the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination, one major alternative action that countries under this intervention assented to was a quota system for women. And the reason why is because the leadership gap between men and women in the lawmaking society has been extended and expanded for so long that even if women do come together, yes, they will get a certain level of progress, but because of the gap that has been created over time, the CEDAW law is saying for an alternative mechanism to somewhat create a level playing field. And the level playing field may not necessarily be equal, but at least to close the gap a little bit. Hence, the quota system for women in lawmaking in society. And that's the reason why a lot of women are fighting for this, because we know that the gap in leadership between men and women has been expanded for such a long time. And so, yes, on one hand, women should go out there, women should mobilize. It's quite interesting that I had a conversation with some market women on the International Women's Day. They were in the studio with us. By the way, sorry to all those who are on Seun's live. I'm not really sure what's going on his Instagram live, but you could go on Lagos Talks at Lagos Talks 913. We are live on Instagram as well. All right, so as I was saying, during the International Women's Day, I did have two market women alongside other women, because what I was trying to achieve was to see, this year's theme, break the bias through the lens of your everyday Nigerian woman. And I made sure that I brought women that at least represented different spheres. And one of the things that I did ask the women was, market women have been very pivotal when it comes to electoral process in Nigeria. A lot of these political office holders know the power that market women hold, hence why they always try to get them on their side, because they know if these market women come together, there's a possibility that it will definitely give you a boost and a push, to whomever it is that is running for office. And I asked them why, if you all come together, during election season, and you're supporting a particular political office holder, why can't you as women come out by yourselves to say, what, I want to go? One of the things that she did mention was, yes, women want to go, but first of all, women are already defeated in their minds that if I go, who is going to come and support us? Especially if you're running within a political party where you're not necessarily being represented. You would find it difficult for you to get sponsorship to be able to move forward because in itself, political parties are very competitive. You can see what's going on in the APC at the moment, because, you did mention this before we went on air. And so she mentioned that. And she also did mention that even women who've dared to come out to say, I want to run, or I want to be represented, or I want to represent other women, they are stifled heavily within the system.
You're making my point for me, Ify. That's the point I'm making, that this system in itself is anti-women. So what kind of woman wants to go inside? You understand? Affirmative action is an integrationist ideology, right? So like I said, it comes from America. So, and even one of the biggest champions of affirmative action, one of the biggest champions of integrationism is the great Martin Luther King. But even before he was assassinated, when he gave his mountaintop speech, he said, I fear that I have integrated my people into a burning building. As we said, APC has 208 internal what's the word? Internal lawsuits. So that is a burning building. So why are we trying to integrate ourselves into these political parties that do not even really represent our interests? I don't think we are still believing in this naive idea that, we can go and change something from the inside. Nobody can change anything from the inside. Change comes from outside. You have to change something from outside of it. It's like a cockroach that has been eaten by a chicken. Now saying I want to change the chicken from inside the chicken's belly. How can you are being digested? These people, there's a system that they operate. Our way to defeat the system is to organize outside of it and confront it, not to try and integrate into it and say you want to change it from within. It can't happen. You know, I think Nigerian women are always, I'll repeat, you know, it's not only like we are saying some women don't want to take this opportunity. Definitely, many women have actually been in this system in strong positions. One of them is Desiani. You know, and look at what the system turned her into. Or rather, you know, look at even Dora, actually the late. She started so well in NAFDA. They wouldn't leave her there to continue the good job until they dragged her through Senate, where she was doing what Nigeria, great people, great nation, where she was trying to launder the image of Nigeria. You understand? Regardless of the reality of people on ground. That's what they wanted to use her for at the end of the day, because she joined the system. Even though she was perfect in NAFDAC, doing everything, she was the first person to actually organize our food and drug agency to actually stop overtly polluted food and goods from getting to people's tables to eat and drink. You understand? She did that. You know, she could have done more there, but the system dragged her away from there and started using her to launder Nigeria's image. You know.
Okay.
So that is how the system works. But for me, I really believe that Nigerian women have a stronger role to play than going to fight for 35% of positions in these burning buildings, as I would call it.
I mean, there are just a few things that I was saying in response to that, because currently I want you to understand that women are not trying to segregate themselves further. What women are trying to do is integrate with the other half of the population, which is men, because they're telling the men, we're not fighting against you, we're saying carry us along, because at the end of the day, we're 50% men, 50% women that make up the population. That's number one.
Not tell these men to carry them along. These men are lost. I'm telling you, see, women, when I say women in politics, you see, people don't understand this. That's why I'm not a feminist. I don't believe in feminism. What I believe in is femininity, this female energy, which is lost in society, which is what these men and this system continually try to kill. You understand? That is why the world is not balanced, because everybody wants to be greedy, harsh, strong, possessive, all these negative attitudes that are so hard and masculine that society wants to continue to elevate, whereas the true things that make us human are the feminine energies of humanity, you know, and those energies are being attacked. So when we talk about sharing, nobody wants to share. Sharing is a sign of weakness, you know, because being a woman is weak. Loving is a sign of weakness, because being a woman is weak. Giving, kindness, allowance, tolerance. You see, these things are the energies in society that is being destroyed, and feminism is what I have against it, is agreeing that these energies should be destroyed while everybody act like a man.
No,
do the things that men do.
You know, I feel like that's exactly I feel like that's exactly what feminism is fighting against, because you know, yes, because first of all, we know that feminism is fighting for equal opportunity for both men and women. That's number one.
Equality
number
with
two,
your oppressor makes you your oppressor.
No. Then number two, what feminism is also saying is women should not be the ones to change themselves to fit the mold that has been created by society as this is the way, you know, the corporate world should be run, with masculine energy. And that's exactly what feminists are saying. Let me carry on.
We don't have to be women. We can be men too.
No. That's not. And that's the thing. Let's listen to what women are saying. You can't tell women what they're saying. Women will be the ones to tell you what exactly they're saying and what they mean. What we are saying, because if you have been listening to some of the conversations we've been having all throughout the week, one thing that we've been harping on is it's time for this thing called equality to move from women need to change to fit the mold, because women shouldn't be the ones to change. The systems should change is what we're saying. And what we're also saying is, and I like the fact that you have mentioned, you know, about masculinity and femininity. And that's the reason why women are not trying to also say the only thing that the world needs is femininity. What we are saying is we need to collaborate. There is a place for masculinity. There is a place for femininity. And that's the reason why we are men and women, because we both, you know, help each other. It's like
you mistake that men possess men and women possess both energies. This is what I'm trying to say to you.
We know, and we know that a lot of times one gender possesses more. There's a dominant energy, and that's what we've seen.
Yes.
So one gender has a more dominant energy, which is a lot of times, more often than not, you see the woman possesses a more dominant feminine energy, and then more often than not for a man, he possesses a more dominant masculine energy. And that's what we are saying. We need each other. We should all be interdependent. We're not saying we want to create a completely different world that is run by women. We are saying, because we already know that there is an existing system that is recognized by law. We know that the Senate is recognized by law. Do you understand? We're not saying that we want to go and create our own type of lawmaking system. That's against the law. And that's the reason why we are saying, men, we would need to get into the mix so that you understand that you as men, you need women, and we as women, we need men. Let the masculinity and the femininity come together is what we're saying.
Okay, perfect. But which woman in the leading role of this feminist movement is portraying that? Because as I said to you, many of the women in politics who stand as the leaders of the feminist movement, Hillary Clinton, for example, who claims to be a feminist, and I'm not seeing women come out in general to say, Hillary Clinton, you're not a feminist, we reject you. She's there doing things that men do. You understand? So it's not about the Oprah Winfreys of this world, the CEOs that are women in this world running all these big corporations. Many of the arms manufacturing companies of the world today are still run by women. Are now run by women, sorry. Does it stop them from bombing women and children all over the world? Exactly. Many women today launching fashion brands, the big stars from the Beyoncés to the Rihannas, and these things are made by women in Asia, in sweatshop factories, working in slave-like conditions. You understand what I'm saying? So these people are earning from these women the same way men exploit and earn from them. So we can play the lip service to say blah blah blah, but on ground, what are we seeing in the leadership of the women of this world? What are they doing? Is what I'm saying. I don't listen to, because if I listen to lip service, I would think Buhari is a good president. I would think Osibanjo is a good vice. I would think Sanwo-Olu is a great governor. But I follow the reality on ground. And
I like that you said that.
So for me, it is not about what people, the rhetoric. What I'm really talking about is this true energy. And don't get me wrong, men and women possess equal amounts of this energy. Men that are balanced will be in touch with their feminine side. Women that are balanced will be in touch with their masculine side. You understand? And be able to utilize these energies anytime it is necessary. That for me is what I'm saying here. It's not that one has to dominate the other. No, there must be a way that the two dance.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, in both genders there is a dominant energy. And that's the reason why you mentioned that women themselves, they need to embrace that femininity, is what you're saying. And that's why I'm saying in men, 9 times out of 10, their dominant energy is masculinity. Not saying that they do not have femininity, right? The feminine energy. And I'm saying in women, the dominant energy is femininity. But I
think the dominant energy in any individual is the energy that they personally choose to
a whole lot of times, 9 times out of 10, if you're looking at the current reality of things, is what I'm saying. But I like the fact that you've mentioned some of these things, Seun, because I feel like if we are pushing towards women having the same opportunity, we are in no way saying that out of the pool of women, there aren't the ones that are qualified and there aren't the ones that are unqualified. I feel like that needs to be very clear as well. Because if you're using the number of women, which is like a drop in the ocean, that have been given the opportunity, so to speak, to represent women in Nigeria, which are millions, that is a very little sample size compared to the number of women
that have been allowed, that have been given. You see, that's what this 35% is. So they will also give this kind of women. What we are saying is, if women independently organize outside of quota system, outside of affirmative action, but organize for themselves, not to be given.
So are you saying that even with these women coming into the Senate, where we know that votes will count, you're saying that the votes will not count, that even when those seats...
Their votes will count, but they will vote for the wrong thing.
who would vote for the wrong thing? Are you
Both
talking about the people?
Both the men and the
would
women.
vote? So now my issue is
when they are in the, you know about them before they get voted in. See, don't worry about. It's when they are inside with the sharks and the lions, you know, and by 35% they are automatically already at a disadvantage.
Isn't this where we then say that when those seats are quote unquote available based on law, that we should ensure that the right people are being voted into office? And that's the reason why we keep on saying if we vote the right people into office, because one of the issues that we face in Nigeria is that the political system is dominated with a lot of sharks, quote unquote, a lot of unqualified people. And that's the reason why we want to vote more qualified people so that they can displace the unqualified people, is what we are saying. So when we make these seats available for women, isn't it our position as maybe journalists to also advise that people should vote the right people? So we're not saying because we're making the seats available for women, you should vote in people that are unqualified. Vote in qualified women the same way we're advising vote in qualified men.
To be a qualified woman, you have to be a candidate. You have to be a chosen candidate. You can't just go on a party and say, vote for me in this party because
there you go. Hence the affirmative action in political parties.
The candidate. So there might be 5 women vying for one position, or 3 women vying for one position. And the party machinery will have to be the one to pick which woman stands as the candidate. Will have to be the one to. They will be delegated. They say it's democratic, but even in America, between Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders, you can see that internal political machinations and manipulations can happen to create the candidates that the party wants. No candidate can defeat its own party. You understand? When the party is hell-bent. So 5 women can go, but these same people that we are talking about will be the ones to decide which of the 5 women.
But then, but do you not believe that with this law being signed, or this bill being signed into law, because like I mentioned, one of the things that the women who sat down in the studio said was they're not even encouraged to run. Because they already see, first of all, what they are seeing at the top is a male-dominated National Assembly. So that alone, it dissuades them and discourages them, because they believe that these men have held their reins deep in the system, that they make it difficult for the women to even show or push themselves out there. But if you also, because like I did mention, everything, there are different mechanisms that you put into place to create change. Mobilization, yes, being one of it, but ensuring that you understand that the law still recognizes the lawmakers, meaning that those lawmakers will still make laws. And if you have a lawmaking system that is filled with 95.5% men, is what I'm saying.
Listen, did you hear that one lawmaker last week brought a bill to the House to say that all public office people should only use public services, and the entire House shouted him down. You understand what I'm saying? You sound as if we've not had this Senate, therefore.
So my question is...
Okay, wait. Even as much as we are saying women, men too, don't they have a responsibility to their country?
They do.
Are there not good men out there?
There
so
are.
How come in the 20-something years that this Senate has been operating, no good man has done?
And that's exactly what I am saying. So, because there are 2 things that we are targeting. We are targeting inclusivity in the House, and we are also targeting the quality of people that should be voted into the House, is what we are saying.
Yes, but without mobilizing on our own to create the organizations to bring about these people, they will not be made. That's
exactly what I'm saying, Seun. I said it's multifactorial, because we can't say it's either or. We are saying that the fact that you are going to mobilize on one hand, it is not mutually exclusive with having inclusivity in the House. But what we are saying is we should ensure that different mechanisms are targeting the change that we want. One being mobilization, another being inclusivity in the House.
If you are mobilizing, why do you need government these people to give you 35% in the House?
Seun, like, based on what we've been seeing in politics in Nigeria, it is difficult for the women to get into those positions. This is what we're saying.
Politics. It's because women and men and everybody have been playing this same politics.
Honestly, let's agree to disagree, but let's hear from the listeners.
We've not given ourselves a chance to actually create our own platforms. We want to go into APC and PDP and change things from within, or go into some party that's built by one person for his own ambition and all these things that we do. But if Nigerian people truly organize themselves professionally, religiously, even based on gender in any way, and we truly organize ourselves, we don't need to integrate with our oppressors to get freedom.
All right, please feel free to join the conversation. 0809-234-5913, 0809-222-0913. Lagos Talks, good morning. Lagos Talks, good morning. Who's speaking?
Good morning, my sister.
Hi, good morning. What's your name?
This is Tunde speaking from Bariga.
All right, let's hear you.
My brother, I salute you, sir.
How you doing, my brother? Welcome to the show.
Don't let this our sister kill you in the studio there.
No, how can she kill me? If he takes care of me.
The truth is that when you look at Lagos State as an example, let's take the local government elections as a sample. How many local government elections? The thing is, people are going for primary, you will not demobilize work. So the only way out for the women is that let them come out. Then let them vote for themselves. They should leave the association of singing and dancing for somebody. I listened to this man when they are doing campaign of chairmanship election in Lagos. That man at Yaba, Babome Yale. If you see how that man is old, and if you see the people that are jumping and singing, you see that the majority of them, they are women. So, and I look at it that these people can't they think at all that this man should just go and retire. This man should go and rest so that they will give another people a better chance to perform well in their own area, in their own locality. But the women these days, they will only put them in the market because it is very, very tough. So if women tell things, they cannot get from these two political leading parties. It is not possible because they will never give them that opportunity, except if one Baba will say, okay, Allah, that is the head. But if you go to the main context of the primary before the main election, they cannot withstand the odds. So that is my point.
All right, thank you very much. This is coming from Ola saying, I'm a feminist. But the ladies don't need to fight for equality on the floor of the Senate. Let the women go out there and slug it out for the chance to contest on the platform of any party, then win. People like Oluremi and Itagiwa did it. Well, I would come in as a woman to let you understand that there's so many ways that we have been, as individuals themselves, we have been divided in society. There's division by class, there's division by religion, there's division by gender as well. So it's just like telling, and this is an example because I saw there's this video that's been going viral on social media. I have to take it into the entertainment scene where some of these very popular reality TV show people were talking about and giving people advice, telling them that they should go out there and work hard, that nobody wants to work hard these days. And people rejected it and they responded to it with a lot of anger saying, but you had a great foundation in life because you were born into a very rich family, right? Which makes it difficult maybe for some people who might not have had the same opportunity as you.
Let me just, you can continue, but let me just say clearly here, even the IMF has stated categorically if you are successful, is because you are from a successful background.
Fantastic. So let me and I like the fact that you've confirmed this. Yes, and the reason why I want to highlight that to Ola is to say it's just like telling someone who's coming from a lower class that they're not working hard enough, that they should go and slug it out amongst other people who are rich, who have the connections, who have the godfathers. You keep telling them slug it out as though they're not working hard enough. But letting you know that there are systems, because this thing called this segregation is systemic when it comes to class, when it comes to religion, when it comes to gender. So it's easy for you to say, go and slug it out, knowing that there are things that are holding you back as a Nigerian citizen. It is not an enabling environment for everyone. And it's even worse for people coming from the lower echelon. So you can't just say women go out there and slug it out as if there are not existing systems that have held them back for such a long time. And that's the reason why we keep saying that the leadership gap has been extended and expanded for so long between men and women in Nigeria. So it's not easy for you to just say really slug it out.
Female situation in Nigeria.
Of course.
You have to understand that even among our oppressors, there are women.
I'm not refusing that fact.
These women are the ones that will enter this 35% position you're talking about.
I cannot say that for a fact.
I'm telling you for a fact.
I can't say that for a fact.
About,
and you know what?
Look at him. Even this guy that's talking, they don't understand the concept. He says Remy did it. Who is Remy?
There you
Remy
go.
is Tinubu's wife. Exactly. So how are they? These are the people that will enter based on the structures that are existing today. So
Which
if women even
okay.
want to take, yes, these structures that are existing, it is their wives, their girlfriends,
Indeed.
their children,
Indeed.
their sisters, their cousins. These are the people that will enter this position. There's nothing you want to, and those ones will not enter there and go and fight their husband interest of. I mean, even in youth, we youth before, not too young to run everything, they started to employ youth all up and down the whole place in government. What are the youth doing? They made Dimeji Bankole the Speaker of the House of Representatives. What did he do there? As a youth in Nigeria for young people in this country. So please, let us not mistake ideology. Ideology is everything. And the grounding and ideology of these two parties that we are all shouting to go and integrate into this system, this burning building, will only take people and make them into monsters.
Which is understandable, but we also understand that. Okay.
Without women independently organizing themselves outside of this present structure, whether they'll give you 100% in the Senate, you will go in there and you will do things to the detriment of this country.
Okay.
Because that is how the structure is built.
So Seun, the thing is, in as much as yes, we do understand and we do agree with that, there are people that are currently in the system that are running the way Nigeria is being run at the moment, and we need to acknowledge that is a system that still does exist. So on one hand, if people go out there and mobilize, yes, that is successful. But in the other hand, we are saying that women need to get into the law-making system in Nigeria, is what we are saying. And this doesn't in any way take away from the process that should go into play.
It does.
Can I finish?
No,
this doesn't in any way. When I say take away from the process that should go into play, we're not saying hire just, or rather we're not saying just elect or pick any woman. We're saying we as the citizens who the power is in our hands should vote the right women into those positions.
But the right women on which platforms?
Now that's another conversation, Seun, because the fact that the 35 the fact that the 35% is going to be available, you can also encourage women now that the 35% is available. Women get into other political offices, get into other political parties, start other political parties for the betterment of Nigeria.
I will tell you for a fact that this 35% is these people's wives and their
and that's your opinion, and that's fine.
That are behind it.
And that's it. And I understand your stance, because there is precedent for that.
If women want change for this country, women must be politically active in the mobilization and organizational angle of things, not in this integrationist part of things. Women must become active. Not only active, women must begin to reject the toxic men in our society and their message, not promoting them, espousing them, singing for them, saying, oh, I can't reach this one, can marry anyone. We have a lot to demand of our women, but since many men in Africa too don't have their act together, maybe it's impossible for us to demand this from our women. But at the same time, let us not deceive ourselves as if Nigeria or Africa is being ruined by men alone. All these men are married.
Of course, it's both men and women.
We've not seen any of their wives come outside to say, this my husband is so evil.
We haven't in any way said that it is only men that have damaged the running of Nigeria. It's not what we're saying.
Suddenly there's 35% women.
But we are not acting as though.
What I'm saying, and I'll continue to say, is that this is nothing without women actively organizing themselves.
And I would add to that by saying there is no just one way to make change in Nigeria. That there are contributory ways, one being women being properly represented in lawmaking in Nigeria, and we can also mobilize as women. It's not being given. It's not being given. These are temporary actions. These are temporary actions, and it's not just Nigeria that has adopted this method.
This is being given. I don't care.
And that's fine. And that's okay, Seun.
These countries that you people look up to, are they civilized? In America,
we're not talking about America, we're talking about African countries
in England,
as well.
Any country in Africa. What are we talking about? As if this world is some kind of civilized place where we should be looking at people that are doing something.
But Seun, there is no one size fits all. There is no one size fits all.
What I'm saying, and I will repeat,
okay,
this is being handed, it's being given. These people that cannot give us good education, cannot give us good health care, why do you think that giving you 35% of position is a good thing?
The fact
they
that
cannot give us anything good. All the good things in this country that is going to come from Nigerian people will have to take it by themselves. And without women organizing politically, I do not see the reason why women are demanding for political position.
But that's one method.
Political organization.
But that's one method.
Without political organization, I don't see why. So it's definitely not women asking for this. It is a special interest. This is a special interest group.
Okay.
That is what this is. Because women that are not organizing politically, what is their business with political position? Women must be organizing politically.
Let's read out some more. Let's read out some more tweets. And we are 100%, yes, and we 100% agree with you. But I still stand.
Special interest to me as a national interest.
I still stand by, if Nigeria is going to change, there is no one method to it.
Yes, but
Nigeria's damage has been deeply rooted in systemic ills from so many years ago. So it's not one method. So yes, you can say, no, you can't say that. You can say based on your own opinion. No. I mean, based on your own opinion. No. Based on your own opinion, you can say it based on your own opinion. But what I'm saying as well, exactly, and that's why I'm saying it is multifactorial. That is no one size fits all.
This giving 35 is not the method.
And I will repeat as well that women need to be a part of lawmaking in Nigeria.
Not by being given.
This is coming from a listener saying, if we need more women in the Senate and the House of Reps, it has been proven that men perform better when there are more women present. Boys in mixed schools are also known to outperform boys who attend only boys' schools. Data does support this, available online, and this is coming
there are more
from
mixed schools than normal single boys school, so there is more. I mean, all these kind of statistics. This is why I'm telling you. This is why Mark Twain said they are lies, they are damn lies, and then they are statistics.
This is coming from Usman saying, how many ladies call on radio when it involves politics? You see, you won't see them call, but when it's time for relationship talks on the show, you will see ladies call. Well, you know what? Let me change that narrative, because if you've been listening to The Dish, 90% of the times when I'm talking about relationships, it's men that are calling in. So let me correct that notion as well. This is coming from Ade saying, the only thing that can save us from Nigerian visionless leaders, selfish leaders, and rubber-stamped National Assembly, we need to start orienting our people, women, youth, from the grassroots campaign about atrocity that they commit when they reach these positions. If not, we will continue till the end comes. And this is coming from Sonny saying, even America that we are copying didn't allow women to vote years back. Without these laws in place, there is no way women would be allowed to sit at the table, which I agree 100%. And it came from these women, these feminists, and this is talking about the 19th to the 20th century. That was the first wave of feminism.
Where they went. When did black women start voting in America? And this is what I'm saying. When people don't understand themselves, this one is coming to talk about how they allow white women to vote. When the white women were voting, did the white women say, we don't want to vote until our black sisters start voting? No, they abandoned you to your own problem. They were voting since 1920. You did not get the vote till 1960 with the black man.
But so it is, which is 100%. I agree with you.
Use this.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. But I feel like you should also
agreeing. You
should also enlighten people that there are different forms of segregation. There is gender, there is race, there is class. So we have to understand that, and there are different discussions.
Obviously, this guy did not put race into his own constitution.
Yeah, so that's why we need to enlighten them.
After all is said and done, we are African people.
This is coming from Dozier saying, nothing is free, even in Freetown. Women who are advocating for 35%
in America
should know that.
Fought for the right to vote. They were not giving like white women in America. White women were giving the right to vote. And look at what they do to it. They use it to continue to suppress and subjugate black people. How many white women in America call police on black people for doing nothing? They have a name for them. They say Karen. That's how prevalent it is in their society. So people should not.
Yes, but let's separate that. That's not even the conversation. But that's a race thing. We're talking about gender in Nigeria.
He's using it as an example.
Let's enlighten them. We're enlightening them.
White women getting the vote and black women getting the vote came in two different ways.
Yes, this is coming from Ola saying I totally agree with the Big Bird. This bill is a special interest hitting under equality. Once it is pasted, it will only get to the oppressors, and we are back at where we started. And this is coming from Madame Adele saying Seun is correct with giving out 35% because they did not work for it. And they may toe the line of these bad set of men dominated the Nigerian National Assembly. This is coming from Lagos Talks. Good morning.
Good morning. Ify and Seun.
Hi, good morning. What's your name?
Welcome to the show.
This is Ngozi from Anthony.
All right, Ngozi, welcome. Join the conversation.
Okay.
Ngozi, our first female caller ever.
No, we've had female callers in the past.
Politics. I kind of support what Seun is
Okay.
to the point he's trying to make. It's like a giving. They are giving us something, and that's where I have problems. That giving. We are begging them to give us 35%. For what? We have to prove ourselves that we are worth to be in that house. First of all, the way men start politics from the grassroots, that's how women should go back to their various constituents wherever it is. If you have interest in politics, you have to start from the community. You have to prove yourself. You have to make yourself available. You have to make the community to know that you can give them exactly the same thing the man they voted in or the man they're going to vote to give. Why do you want to tell them to give you 35%? I have a problem with that. The only thing I know that from the bill I have problem with is that when you are married, you can't buy for any political post
in your husband's state. If you're married into a different state.
And another one is if a woman should marry a foreigner, the person cannot be a Nigerian citizen. But apart from that, every other thing is just like in the office now where you are working, Lagos Talks. Did you ask them for you to make you for you to work as a moderator in this? No, you prove yourself. You make yourself. At least you have a good day. You have yourself. You have mission. Because you guys are the good hands. So telling them to give you 35% is like begging them. And when it comes to they will see it as if they've given
us a favor. Thank you very much.
So it's like controlling women. So I believe the best thing for us is to start from the grassroots.
And I agree with that 100%. But I also want to say this because you said women should prove themselves. Women have proven themselves all their lives. Women have been leaders in their homes. Women have birthed leaders. So women don't have to prove themselves. Matter of fact, we have proven ourselves as good leaders. That's number one. Number two, like someone did rightfully mention, if certain laws did not exist, women would not have had opportunities to be able to do certain things. Like, for instance, because she did ask me, did I beg them to be able to work on air? No, I didn't. But dare I say that there was a particular period in time where women, the ratio between men and women in the labor force or in the labor pool was a drastic gap. And it was due to certain movements that led to women giving the opportunities because they already were qualified. Is that the opportunities were not available. They were already qualified. It took certain movements and certain laws to come into place for corporate Nigeria and corporate America or Europe or wherever to give women the opportunity. And it wasn't as though women came in and they were just, because yes, there are some companies that based on tokenism so that they seem as if, they are being liberal or they seem as if they are being inclusive. They now started hiring women. But over time, they realized that these women were also qualified, which gave space for more women in the system.
And this technique, what has it led to for women in the workplace? On equal pay, on equal treatment,
yes, there you
harassment.
go.
So when something is given to you, this is what happens. See, the corporate world gave women jobs, right? And actually gave women jobs to weaken the negotiation.
Okay, let me ask you a question because we've run out. But what would have been the alternative, Seun? If at all they did not create laws for women to have opportunities in the corporate world, what should have been an alternative?
To discuss labor and work, I don't think that has to be a show on its own. I don't even believe human beings should work.
Okay.
So labor, and this is for me is an unnatural discussion that we can have, and we can break it down. How women can engage properly in producing and manufacturing as African women did for centuries, for thousands of years, before we now started working. Okay. So because in Africa, I used to say to people, before they came to give us boys and girls school and give us gender roles.
Yeah.
In Africa, there was gender identity, but there was no gender role. You understand?
Yeah.
Women could be hunters, farmers, this whatever you wanted to be, you could be. You understand? So there was an education that went with that. So what is working? What is work if you are working for yourself? You know, if you are existing, doing your things. Women were controlling all the money in Africa. They control the marketplace in Africa. So women controlled all the money. So what happened to that? That women now have to beg for money from people that had no money before.
There you go.
You understand? So there's a balance to society that maybe no one is perfect. But me, I don't even think we are put on this earth to work for somebody else. To help somebody else achieve their own vision in life while giving us some stipend. Even if we go to the history of what it took to make African people work. When Europeans came here to say, come and work. Africans say, for who? For what? What's that? What's this word?
All right, this is coming from a listener saying, if I think you will understand the depth of the conversation when you drop the female bias. Women, men, and youth of Nigeria suffer the same fate, and solutions will only come from a unified front from the trio. Well, I would like to educate you some more. Like I did mention, there are different systems that segregate people in society. There is gender, there is class, there is religion. The moment you begin to understand it, yes, people suffer forms of oppression that might seem different in these different systems. So yes, if you want to address it, you could address it as a whole or you could address it individually. But you cannot lump them up together and say the same oppression that women face as women is the same oppression that the lower class faces.
The poorest person in Nigeria is definitely a woman.
That's not what I'm talking about.
No, I'm telling you. And it's what you're saying, I'm saying. Do you understand? Because to be a poor man, people don't understand. And this is why I'm surprised that women don't engage more. Women are not more angry. Women are not organizing more to change this country. To be a poor man, how do you exist? You wake up, you brush your teeth, you come out. People will not really, you see, you're poor. But do you know what it means to be a poor woman that cannot afford makeup? No, listen. Because this is necessary.
Yeah.
Lipstick, sanitary pads.
Sanitary pads?
No, listen.
Yes.
Don't act like lipstick.
There is period poverty.
Lipstick is not, what's it called anymore? Lip balm, all these things for women. It is not option.
It's not luxury, so to speak. Yes.
Taking care of their hair, their fingernails, all these things that make a woman in society that comes with a price tag that the poor woman cannot afford. You know the oppression that created that to make women not be able to come out of their house the way they are. At least woman must afford bra and top.
Yes.
Man does not have to buy shirts.
True.
You can wear short knicker, slippers and come out. Can woman come out without bra and top?
No. Well, more often, no.
You can't. You not be saying more for you just except except you want to enter.
There you go. That's what I'm trying to say.
Except you want to trend that.
I said more often, no. But
if it's the plan,
it doesn't mean that people.
I'm just saying, like society itself.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm saying about oppression for women. So society in itself has these things in place that come with money that society does not provide for women.
Indeed.
You understand? So for me, women must see these things clearly in line that there's something that they themselves must organize to be against. That's my point.
All right, definitely this conversation does continue, but thank you so much. I know, MC Oluwama.
You're strong.
Thank you so much, everyone who was a part of the show today. 4 minutes past 12. Big Bird, it's always a pleasure having conversation with you. Before we say goodbye, any words, and would you like to also drop your handle?
Instagram is Big Bird Kuti, Facebook Seun Kuti, Twitter @Seun Kuti. And as I always say, let's all try to be part of the solution. And Lagos drivers, I'm going home. Mona, give me road. Give yourself. Don't drive anyhow. I'm going home. Don't cause traffic.
All right, guys. You can reach out to me on Instagram and on Twitter @Ify_I. That is IFY_I. Follow Lagos Talks at Lagos Talks 913 across all social media platforms. 12:30 is Directions, 1 p.m.
We are Lagos Talks 91.3.
Let's talk.